Hey guys, so I'm doing a video update of my Hot Toys and, well, really all my collections. And I figured because now I have the glass case, I will give you guys a little update on some of the things that have changed and how I've kind of done things and what I plan on doing to update my display. So let's get right into the video. First things first, I have my Superman BVS suit mannequin right here, right next to the glass case. So since I have moved, I decided I was going to do these glass cases. I really like the LED display. So first things first, the new figure that has been added here, not the most recent, but my second to most recent, I guess, would be the best way to put it, would be Wolverine. The Wolverine figure, this one actually has like a swap out chest plate where you can actually switch out with the bullet damage, and you can swap out the head where it could be the Hugh Jackman head. I don't know, there's something about it that I just love about the classic Wolverine looking helmet. It doesn't look like Hugh Jackman at all, in my opinion, but I still happen to love it. And the other thing is too, I think without the sleeves, it looks more comic accurate and it looks really, really cool. One of the things that I love about this figure is I love how they did like the silicone skin and all of that muscle detailing and everything, and the skin texture, all of that is phenomenal. I think the only thing I'm really worried about, which is why I kind of try to keep mostly museum poses, is I'm worried about damaging the figures in most cases, so that's why I kind of keep it where his arms are straight, they're not bent. I don't want the silicone sticking to the other part of the silicone and eventually damaging. Then we have Spider-Man from the final Swing No Way Home suit. This is one of my favorite suits. Actually, this is my favorite suit. So when it comes to this one, I like how they kind of made it where it's Tom Holland's Spider-Man, where, like, you know, it has the line textures and all of that stuff. So as you can see, like, you know, that dotted texture and everything. But then you could also see that they have like that line work that they really add when it comes to the Spider-Man figure, and it's just phenomenal. I love it. I love how the web shooters are not as visible. They're actually like tucked in underneath the suit. You can kind of just see like that little small piece there that will show you where like the web shooters are, and that's about it. Then we have my Iron Man. He has been here since the beginning. I love this Iron Man from Spider-Man Homecoming. It reminds me of Ultimate Iron Man, and there's something about it that I've always just loved about the color scheme. It just looks really silver and metallic. It's die casted, so it's very, very heavy, and that's one of the things that I do like about the Iron Man figures so far that I do have in my collection. Iron Man is definitely one of my favorite Avengers, so this is one of those figures that I really, he's like a pride and joy. He does light up. I don't have him lit up in the display. His hand even lights up as well. I don't know if you could kind of see the light bulb, the chest, the arc reactor, and then there's certain points throughout the figure that actually light up as well. But I didn't want to do that and turn on the whole display, so not to mention, I don't even know if the batteries are really all that great. Captain America, which this is also another one of my favorite suits, the Endgame suit. It feels like it's a classic version of the comic looking suit. I just love the colors. I don't feel like they're really as bright and prominent. As you can see, it's just really well done. All of these do come with different heads. So like, for example, Spider-Man does come with a Tom Holland Peter Parker head. Iron Man does come with a Tony Stark head, and then there's like this neck thing to hide where, like, you know, the peg is for the figure. And you also have the Chris Evans head for that particular figure as well. Thor didn't come with a different head. This Thor was from the Avengers. I didn't want to get anything that was too expensive. I'm not really a big Thor fan, but I really wanted to complete the Trinity. So my wife always gives me a hard time over the fact that I got Thor. When it comes to Black Panther, there is no better figure than this one. He's one of the few characters that I actually have without the mask on, because I just love the way that this head sculpt looks. It's very, very detailed. You could see the likeness, and the sculpt looks exactly like Chadwick Boseman. And I really do I have always loved the Civil War suit over the regular Black Panther suit, which is funny because, fun fact, for those of you who probably don't know this, I think it was the Black Panther suit for the Black Panther movie was actually created using the same technique as the Man of Steel suit, where it had the hidden muscle suit with the chrome tucked underneath to do the muscle detailing and everything. So it's a nice little fun fact. Down here, I have my Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. This is not the base that it came with. I actually had to buy another base. Sorry, I know that you guys are getting my reflection a lot. So this one didn't come with this base. It actually came with a giant Sandman head that I cannot fit in this display. Then we have my poor Andrew Garfield that I got him pre-owned. I'm actually hiding his wrist pegs with web shooters that are Tom Holland's web shooters. I'm sure somebody definitely will notice that. And then we have over here my Tom Holland Spider-Man. Because I have multiple of this one, I actually don't mind having him unmasked, but I do have a few of him. So I love red and black, so this is like one of my favorite suits, which is why there's two of them. Then we're moving on to Miles Morales and Peter Parker from the PS4 and Miles Morales version of the game. So Marvel Spider-Man, these are two of my favorite versions of the character because I love how they kind of tied the stories together. But at the same time, I think I actually like Spider-Man 2's suit better. I wish I actually had the money to pre-order it when the time came. I'm pretty sure now it's sold out. But still, these suits are amazing. I actually forgot to swap this out. I actually have to swap out this because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to swap out all of the waist holders with the crotch grabbers so that this way the suits don't get damaged, which unfortunately I can't do that with all of them because like this one doesn't have the same peg as the others, unfortunately. This one, I think the damage has already been done. There is certain points where you can see that the clamp has already kind of done damage on the suit. At this point, I know that the damage is done. It's too late. There's nothing I can really do about it. So instead of trying to replace it and do anything crazy with it, I just kind of left it in the pose that it's in and call it a day. This Iron Man, one of my favorite Iron Man suits. I don't know. There's something about it that looks very futuristic. Some of these other attachments, I accidentally ordered the accessories when I was on eBay. I didn't mean to do it, but I ordered the accessories for this Iron Man, and then I tried to sell it, and it was a hassle because people thought that they were getting the figure and not getting the accessories because they weren't reading the description properly. So after, I think, like 2 or 3 times where it was sold and then they realized that it was for the accessories, I wound up canceling it. And after that, I was like, forget it, I'll just keep the accessories. Now here is my Cowl display, which I just got these Cowl stands. They are on Etsy. I'll definitely put them in the description below. As well as the glass case, if you guys actually are interested in that, which this isn't a paid promotion or anything, but just helping my fellow collectors and cosplayers out. These are some Joker cards that my friend actually left here, and I decided, you know what, it would look really cool in the display. At that point, I was doing just basically Batman. The Wolverine cowl is kind of clashing with a lot of the stuff. With this Batarang, I ordered this. I actually had to take this off, and then I custom painted it and added like some distress effect to it to kind of make it look a little bit more metallic and weathered and everything. And then I wanted to prime it and finish it, so I put like, you know, a finish on it. I didn't manage to do that with these. These actually are not done in the same way that the other one was. These I had to assemble myself, and they're a little bit thinner and a lot sharper. So sometimes I do use these for the photo shoot because that's on the stand and I try not to really disrupt that one. This cowl is from Reeves Effects. It is a really cool BVS cowl. Unfortunately, the only thing is that I have two BVS cowls. I have one from Ninko, and I have this one. I do actually prefer the Ninko one, only because of the way that it fits on my face. The way that it frames my face, I feel like the eyes don't look as menacing as they do with the Ninko. So typically I don't really use this. This is really more for display, but I love the detailing on that cowl. It looks very leathery. It has a lot of texture. It's very well crafted and very well done. I spent a lot of time waiting for this, and I definitely think it was worth the wait. It was a beautiful cowl. Down here, we have my Robin chest plate. That Robin chest plate is supposed to go part of the Robin cosplay, some of the upgrades that I'm going to be doing on that cosplay. That mask is 3D printed and very uncomfortable, but I still use it for my Nightwing cosplay and for my Robin cosplay. I actually hand painted that and then added some detailing so you could see a little bit of that weathering. That's not the lighting, that's actually like, you know, a little bit of weathering, but the camera doesn't really do it justice, and down here is a little bit darker than the rest of the display case. These are the Screama sticks from Arkham City, and another mask. It is the blue mask actually that I painted. I try to do like a silver, like a metallic silver and metallic blue mask, so that this way it would kind of look closer to what Nightwing typically uses. I wound up actually liking the black more than I like the blue, so that's why I typically use the black instead. The Screama sticks, they actually do light up. Let me see if I could open up the display and show you guys. Let's just open this up. The glass is a little bit dirty. I should have probably cleaned it again because this part vibrates, and then this other part lights up, and it lights up both sides, as you can see, and it also extends like that. So it's a cool little prop that I actually really like. This one wasn't actually that much money. It didn't break the bank. It wasn't overly expensive. It was kind of a nice little prop that I was trying to go for because I didn't want to spend over $100 and something on Screama sticks. So I figured, you know, $15, $20, $30 or whatever the case is, that's fine for two. Now we're gonna move on to the other glass case. Over here we have Aquaman, who is one of my favorite versions of Aquaman. I love Jason Momoa's version of Aquaman. I feel like the movie was really good. I didn't get like the Justice League display case for some of them, which I really do wish I did have it for some of the characters, but I also like the water effect. Something about it that looks really cool. There's no nameplate on this one, so you can kind of twist it around however you feel like it. That trident is actually really sharp. If you do touch it, like it'll actually prick your finger. Like I actually cut my finger on the trident on that bottom part right there. The Flash, I love this version of the Flash's suit, but I also like the other version. If you actually change the lighting, one of the interesting things about it is that if you change it to like this blue lighting, let me see if I can find a way to, yeah, you'll see that it kind of lights up and it makes like this glowing effect. So this display base and the Flash symbol actually does light up. I didn't change it. So this way, or put like, you know, the plug in the power strip for it, so it isn't gonna light up. But I thought that that was really cool that you can actually see like it kind of has like that yellow strip when you change it to like that negative light. Wonder Woman is phenomenal. I love how she looks. She doesn't really look exactly like Gal, but it's still a really cool figure, and it definitely was one of the figures that I really wanted. When it came down to it, I was only really going to do the Trinity, so I was only going to do Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and then I started collecting the others. Superman was my first figure, actually, from Hot Toys, and definitely was one that I was really looking for a while. I accidentally bought a statue thinking that it was a Hot Toys figure, and then had to return it. In exchange, I wound up going on eBay and scouring the internet looking for a Superman Hot Toys figure because I was so late to collecting a lot of this stuff that most of it was only on eBay. And then we have the BVS one. This is actually from Suicide Squad, but I used the tactical batsuit display base. But in all actuality, it is the BVS suit, and this is from Suicide Squad. I think the Suicide Squad base, I just swapped both Batmans. So the other Batman is down there somewhere, which we'll get to him later. Cyborg, he lights up actually everywhere. Let me just fix him because I didn't even realize Cyborg's like whole entire chest plate was over to the side. Okay, so Cyborg, he lights up, his eyes light up, there's like a whole bunch of stuff. The only thing I think that works against this figure, in my opinion, is that it's not die casted. A lot of it is plastic, and I felt like it was a missed opportunity for it to be metal and die casted. Supergirl, which I did pre-order her, but then I saw what she was going to look like, and I didn't like the fact that she looked like, a lot of people were calling her like Tom Holland with the wig when, you know, he did like that lip sync battle. I feel like the actual figure looks more like the actress and has a better portrait. I do really like the way that she looks, as like, you know, as far as like this whole display base, when you like, you know, pull it out, they just look like they belong together. Something about the bright colors, it looks very much like the Justice League, and I love that. This is my wife's part of the display, her T-Rex. I got this for Christmas one year, and I'm planning on adding more. We want to eventually change this whole entire part of the case out, and we want to try and make it more like a diorama. So eventually what we want to do is we want to add, like, you know, the grass and try to kind of add like a photo backdrop behind here and do all types of crazy things with this. And I'm really looking forward to doing more with that eventually. This detail on this T-Rex is phenomenal, and I definitely really do like it a lot. Then we went to Target and we happened to find this. Obviously, my wife is a very big Jurassic Park fan, and there's something about it that just always resonated with me as well. So I love the idea of this, and hopefully I can give you guys a little bit of an update. I do want to add kind of like a river that's resin and do all types of other stuff with like the trees, and, you know, just do really crazy cool diorama stuff with it. So hopefully we'll be able to show you kind of like the process on creating that as well. Okay, and now here we are with our Batman. So we have Michael Keaton's Batman from the Batman movie from 1989. And then you also have the Tactical Batman, which I told you I switched out the displays. So this is not the Suicide Squad Batman. That one is actually up there. But I just love the way that this looks. I did have the battering up. I think my son knocked it down when he opened up the display case. So the battering is actually supposed to be here, and it's not. As a matter of fact, there it is. So then we have, I really just love the way that these look together. That Michael Keaton Batman with that Christopher Reeve Superman, I just love putting them together. Unfortunately, it looks very weird putting them in the center of the display a certain way when everybody else is like so high up. Like having Black Adam and Superman so high up, and then you have David Cornsweet's Superman, who's also high up with Crypto. It looks very weird having them in the center. It made more sense to have them kind of off to the end a little bit. But I love the Henry Cavill Superman, the black suit. Nothing will ever beat the classic Superman suit for me, but I feel like they made a lot of improvements on this one that were really good quality of life changes. Then you have the Black Adam figure, which I know a lot of people didn't like the movie, but I love the figure. He's phenomenal. There's a reason why he's sold out. Clearly, people, even if they didn't like Black Adam as a movie, they definitely liked it more than Shazam, because Shazam still doesn't have his own figure, unless you buy it like third party. Then we have over here our David Cornsweet. Over here, David Cornsweet Superman, I feel like the portrait could have looked better. I think that InArt did a better job. There's something about when posing him that if you don't pose him a certain way, he kind of looks a little too stocky. So at certain points, he's actually really, really tall, the actor, which is funny because Christopher Reeve, I think, is the same height as him, but his display base is phenomenal. One of the things that I love about this figure that they did recently is that they actually added a magnet to it. So he's actually propped up by magnet. None of these Supermen that I have here are propped up in that way with the waist clamp. So if you notice, the Superman doesn't have that waist clamp. The reason is because I created a contraption with a paper clip, and then I unzipped the back of the suit for those of you who are probably trying to do something new with your display. And I made it where it would never damage the figure, and it definitely doesn't damage the suit. So you just unzip the back and have it propped up like that. Obviously, Crypto came with the David Cornsweet Superman because Superman can't sell Superman by himself. Crypto has to be included in on everything, but he was a nice little bonus. I definitely do appreciate having Crypto, and the kids love him. As far as my Chris Reeve Superman, he is probably one of the hardest figures that I ever had the displeasure of trying to find. He is a phenomenal figure. I love this one. Came in the original box and everything, and as far as I can tell, I think they came up with a whole new body muscle structure for his figure individually. And I will tell you, he's worth every penny that I paid, but I went through hell trying to get him. So you will never see me sell him. This one actually, I didn't even get at a discount really. I got it cheaper than what I probably would have had to pay if I was getting one that was completely fixed, but this one actually has a damaged head. So he's still expensive, but not as expensive as the regular Chris Reeve Superman. Down here, really, I don't think I'm going to keep it this way, but this is more of like the horror movie stuff. So we have a metal Freddy Krueger glove, Michael Myers from Halloween Kills, and Halloween 2018's Michael Myers, which is one of my favorite masks. I love the weathering effect that they did on the mask. Just like I love the effect that they did with the damage on the mask and blood and everything that they did. And the bandaged up hand, you also have that glass tube that he used to kill one of the neighbors early on in the film. This one's a little bit more traditional, just butcher knife, bloodied butcher knife actually. This one, the bloodied butcher knife came from the Halloween Kills Michael, so I swapped it out. So it's not just like a clean butcher knife. The hand also swaps out, so you have like the regular hand, and then you have the battle damaged hand from when Laurie shoots his hand. So either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I know it was a little bit lengthy, but there is a lot to cover when it comes to the collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and hit that thumbs up button, and like, comment, subscribe, and make sure that you hit that bell so that you never miss out on any of the content I'm putting up. Thank you.